Welcome back to the WNY Athletic Studios. Francis Beck, Tim Chifa. It is halftime out at Cicerone, Syracuse, and is the Tioga Tigers leading CSP 28-0. Tim, we said in the pregame we didn't think this was, with the way these two teams were, we didn't think this was going to be a blowout, but first 24 minutes, it looks like we were wrong.
Yeah, and CSP, they're a bit shell-shocked. You know, it is. This is not what they've even come close to experiencing all year. Like you said, it's 28-0. I'll quickly run down the scores. It's been the Drew McCumber, am I saying that right? McCumber show. The senior running back, 3 of the 4 touchdowns, 29-yard touchdown run, 13-yard touchdown run, and then a 5-yard. And then defensively, number 88, Sindoni, 49-yard pick 6 on a interception. I think it was a screen pass that got intercepted. But, 28-0, all Tioga. And, thanks to one of our listeners, Maddie Miles, who put the note for us that basically Tioga hasn't lost in a long time. It's been about 3 or 4 years since they lost or 2.5 years since they lost on the field. But it seems like this group together – haven't lost in quite a long time, and it shows why they do everything good. I don't know if I've seen a team block like at the line of scrimmage and downfield. I mean, I've seen at least 3 or 4 CSP defenders laying on their back because of how well this Tioga team blocks. They're good. I mean, they are really good.
I mean, we can see 1 or 2 guys every once in a while will lay someone out or can really dominate a game, but see like a 3-4 guys a play be able to do that. Yeah, that's something you don't see very often.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell that this is not a position that CSP is used to being in. I think it's easier to say, from sitting in our studio here, but I think they made some mental mistakes. I do. With 5 minutes left, it was 21-0, which we talked about. 21-0. The next score is crucial, right? Because 21-7, 2-score game, that's a ball game. 28-0, it's pretty much over. I mean, for the most part. And they get a break on 3rd and 5. It was very clearly a fumble. I mean, very clearly on 3rd and 5. Cantonese fumbled the football, and for some reason we think they called it an incomplete pass. Whatever, doesn't matter. So it makes it 4th and 5, and you're down 21-0. It's right about midfield. You got to go for that. You got to get back in the game. Okay, they try to draw them off sides, call a timeout, and then they punt. What's the point of calling the timeout? You know what I mean? If you're going to punt anyway, take the 5-yard penalty, then punt. You end up punting like 9 yards, so it really makes no difference. I think it might be a position that they're not used to being in, and you can kind of see it a little bit. I don't want to say they're unraveling, but we mentioned it a couple weeks ago. It's almost like that snowball effect, where it's like one mistake gets bigger, and bigger, and you're playing against a really good team, so everything is crucial. I would have liked to see him go for it on 4th and 5 and try to get back in the game. And you got to keep that Tioga offense off the field because they are running you over right now.
Yeah, I look at Cantonese, and you could tell he's a little struggling. Some throws have been a little off. If you're Coach Harper and you're talking to him at half, he's the one you really need to get on track. What would kind of be your message to him?
Well, it's such a mental thing with quarterbacks, too. And we said this a little bit in the pregame. You have to have so much confidence, especially as a quarterback. And that is now the coach's job to get his confidence back. You see, he's making some throws that he really hasn't made all year. He's short ironing a couple of them. Right after he threw the interception, which is just that happens. The defensive end made a great play. He read the play perfectly, and he picked off a screen. It happens. But you got to go to the next play. You got to forget about it, which is easier said than done, obviously. But at this point, it's 28-0. You have to get it within 2 scores before the 4th quarter. Okay, there's no 28-point score. Everyone says that, obviously. You're not out of it, really, but you have to. Every single possession now has to be scores. You have to, because you have to score at least 4 times. They're probably going to score again, Tioga. So you.
Well, and I think Tioga is getting the ball first coming out of the half.
CSP won 3 and out, I believe, right? So You got to make a statement defensively. But the coach now has to get Cantonese confidence back. And we talked about it a little before. You got to throw quick slants. Go get Hinsdale going too. You got to throw quick outs. Little passes that are relatively easy. You get rid of the ball before the pressure comes, and that's the way you get your confidence going. The only way to get confidence going is complete some passes. Okay, it's literally the only way. But he's a little shook because he also fumbled that ball. Granted, they didn't call it one, but it was clearly a fumble. And so he's, feeling the nerves. There's no doubt about it. This is the biggest game of his life, and he's had an amazing season. And we kind of saw it with the Clarence quarterback. It was he kind of just his confidence got shook a little bit in the second half, and it's quarterback it's probably the hardest position in all of sports, and it's such a mental thing, and it's really up to the coach and the offensive coordinator right now to get his quarterback back in the game and get his confidence up. But again, Francis, they're playing a team that hasn't lost in like 30 years right now. You know what I mean? Like, they're really good. There's a reason they won the state championship the last 2 years. They are a machine, and it's just sometimes teams are better. It just happens, But you saw him take a little bit of a risk. Your favorite play, the hook and ladder, down in. I don't mean risk like that, but But you got to go for it on 4th and 5. I'm sorry, you have to. You got to go for it on 4th and 5 in midfield. I'm a firm believer of that, especially when you're down 21-0. So, but 28-0, all Tioga, and it is very, very evident why they are the reigning state champions and number 1 in the state. It's clearly deservingly so.
All right, I'm trying to see. Oh, it looks like going to the other side of the bracket. Looks like Stillwater is up right now, 21-14 over Haldane in the east side of the bracket. So if that holds, these two scores hold right now, it would be Stillwater against Tioga. But that one a little bit closer. Haldane only down a touchdown right now. Those games, I believe, being played in Middletown. You can also catch those on the NFHS network along with this game, which is on the NFHS network. Tim, before we wrap up, you said what you tell if you're Coach Harper talking to Cantonese. Yeah. What about the rest of your team? What's your message right now? I mean, I think it's unfortunate. I think if you watched our halftime shows, we've had to say this almost a lot because there's been a lot of lopsided halftime. But it's little things, right? Okay, there's no 28-point play. We're not out of this. We're shooting ourselves in the foot a bit, making some mistakes. We got to tackle better, first and foremost, okay? McCumber is killing us. You can't tackle him with one person. You got to gang tackle. Force him to throw. Put 8 guys in the box right now and force him to throw. If you get beat that way, then so be it. But you are getting beat by getting run the ball. And then, of course, have fun, okay? It's a game. It's a game. Have fun and leave everything out on the field. That's by far the most important. Don't worry about the scoreboard right now. It'll take care of itself. Leave everything you have on the field, and later on in life, you'll be able to look back at this game and say, no matter what happens, we gave it everything we have. Don't quit. Don't give up. Game's not over. And, of course, have fun. All right, that will do it for us. For Tim Chifa, I'm Francis Beck. Join us after the game for our post-game show. This is WNY Athletics Game Day coverage on WNY Athletics.
What does it mean when people say America is a land of opportunity?
It means the power to discover,
to redefine yourself,
to improve yourself,
to challenge yourself,
to realize there's more in you
than you ever knew
that you could do.
It means giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
With the best tools,
the best training,
the best technology in the world.
We bring out the best in the people who serve.
So you can be all you can be.
It's time for the Big West Herb Black Friday sales event. It's really big.
And they know big.
$50 million big, set aside to buy your vehicle, but it'll go fast because whether you own or lease, we want your vehicle, and we'll even buy yours if you don't buy from us. Get your instant trade-in value at westherd.com and come in now. Great deals and $50 million ready to buy your vehicle. Hurry before it's gone.
Welcome